Hi, I'm Ron Nutter, and welcome to another edition of Tech Bites with Ron Nutter. This time, we're going to be working on how to set up your own weather station. And yes, that is possible. No, it doesn't have to break the bank or you have to hawk your family jewels. There's several reasons, and I'm going to have two different options for you. This time, we're going to start with the very simple ambient weather. Let me hit the little button. Well, it didn't. Okay, of course, you can't see the red light, but you can kind of see the information that it's showing. It has an indoor and outdoor sensor, and actually you can go multiple outdoor sensors. Now, the nice thing with this is you're now no longer dependent on what they say at the National Weather Service or wherever they're getting the temperature from, which I don't know about you. I personally think they've got a guy with a thermometer behind a jet engine on takeoff at the airport. It's kind of seems like there's a drastic temperature. Now, there's several possibilities on how you can implement this very basic system you'll find for $50 or less. And it really takes just a few minutes to set up. There is one app that you will get that sets up the basic unit and gets it talking. You will need to do this on a 2.4 gigahertz wireless SSID because that's where most of these are going to operate in, because it's going to have a little bit longer range in the chipsets, or I think there's a little bit of a cost savings there. So really, there's a lot of information to be gotten from this. And the nice thing with the ambient weather is that you can see it reports both outdoor and indoor and gives you kind of a range. Now, I'll tell you a trick, what I run into with the outdoor sensor. You need to hang it in a place that's got good outdoor exposure, but you don't necessarily want the sun hitting on it, because whatever sensor is being used seems to act like it's a little bit hotter than it normally is outside. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, it's not just a matter of displaying temperature. You can see, let me shift over here onto another screen. You can see the information that it gives you. I mean, it gives you the dew point. It shows you change in degrees. It gives you basically building your own weather system. And humidity, well, you can see it's dropped 17% from the previous day. You can click on the lightning bolt, or what I'm calling lightning bolt, and you really can get details with this. So it can, if you're a budding meteorologist, you can get quite a bit of information on it. Now, this is what I call a level 1 system. This gets you just your temperature. Now, there's an added benefit by having the indoor temperature. Say you're away from home and the air conditioner starts having a problem, you're going to see it here first before you ever get in to home and realize it's getting kind of warm. So you can already get somebody hopefully on the way, or at least get yourself to a higher place on the list. There are other things you can do with this. You can tie it into Madame A from Amazon. You can tie it into Google Assistant. You can tie it into IFTTT or IFTTT. So there's a lot of versatility you get for something that's $50. Now, you can get it for Amazon on 50, and I do have an affiliate link in there. You can also go directly to Ambient's site. Now, you will see it as a cheaper price, but the difference there will be is you're going to have to pay shipping unless they happen to be running some sort of special. So this is something that, it pays to shop around. And if you buy through the affiliate link, yes, I do get a little bit of money, but I'm more concerned about you getting a good deal. Now, when you're setting something up like this, please make sure you've got a copy of this checklist, because we've got all these different things you're going to need to record. The MAC address, the IP address. So if we need to start doing some troubleshooting, the serial number, firmware rev, kind of a thumbnail guide of what's going on, because if you start to do any troubleshooting, that's information that you're going to want to have. Now, there are more sophisticated models, and I'm going to show you setting those up. Hopefully it'll be good weather to where I can actually do it next week, and that will, then you start getting into things like, the wind direction, wind speed, rain collection, so you know how many inches of falling. So if the weather service or one of the TV stations says you had 4 inches of rain and you didn't see a drop, well, then you can kind of know where what the real measure was. And sometimes it's just real interesting to see the different amounts of rain, because there's always going to be a little bit of difference. So this, like I said, is a very simple system to set forward. I've got my outdoor sensor hanging off of the porch light that's right beside the mailbox. So that's one place to put it. There's no one right or wrong way, and you may need to move it around a little bit. Now, there is a place where you can put 2 AAA batteries in the back. Now, the advantage to this is that if you do have a power loss, it's going to help preserve getting the information from the outside unit, so you'll still have some idea of what's going on instead of having to guess or reset the unit. Now, there is one little quirk I've run into this is that in order to get the daylight savings time set right, I had to go in and manually adjust it. Now, I very well could have set it wrong when I first set it up, so I'll be the first to claim that one, that it could have been a case of I just didn't get it done right. Won't be the first time, probably won't be the last. But this is something, it's very interesting to see, what you can expect in terms of, let me get this, there we go, pull it back a little bit, we can get one of the lights. So you can see what's going on with having the high temp, low temp, if you do tie it into ambientweather.com, and that's something that I really should have done a better job of explaining. This information is actually coming from my sensor on Ambient's website. And I'm sure they share this information with other sites, and you can tie it into Weather Underground. There's all sorts of things you can do. And if you go under, let me flip back to this other page. And if we go under, got to drag a few things out of the way here because it's covering up where I want to get to. If we click on the device, of course, you'll see the MAC address, you'll see the time zone it's set up in, and you can make this where it doesn't share it to the public. You can tie it to Weather Underground. There's something called PWS Weather. And as you can see, I've got it tied into both Alexa and Google Assistant. And I haven't worked on IFT yet. I'm evaluating some of the different options there to see which ones that we want to talk about in a future video. But this is really interesting. I've always had kind of wanted to have my own weather system, but it was like one of those deals that was on the list, but not quite. And now, this one won't detect rain. Like I said, this is a very basic system, but really for $50, you can't complain. So and the fact that there's also a smartphone app, so whether you've got iPhone or you've got Android, you've got that in there as well. So again, something to think about. They do have some of the older models available. Now you have to go buy the pieces parts. Now, like there was a W-0262, which was single sensor. Although it's not available for sale anymore, you can buy the pieces parts. You can buy the display, you can buy the power supply, you can buy the outdoor sensor. Well, eventually you can cobble your own together if you want to, if you have a specific model you want. But on the other hand, having this kind of information available is very much you can see exactly what the weather is like, at least the temperature wise. And as you get into the more sophisticated systems, then you will see other things such as rain collection, wind speed, direction of wind. That's, but you get into others, and those are going to be a little more money. So you can always start out with this and tie it into your smartphone. So at least you can kind of see what example for the inside temperature, you can see what it's like. So if you have remote access to your thermostat, you've got independent verification. And if you need to get things cooled down a little bit or warmed up a little bit, you can do that while you're on the way home instead of having to wait for things to adjust. So anyway, that's the kind of the long and short of this. It's very interesting to see what information I've been getting from this. And like I said, we'll be doing some other videos with showing you how to tie it into the different voice systems, how you can get to that information, and you get more of a real-time situation. Make sure, please, that you get this checklist so that as you're setting up the accounts for this and all your other smart home devices, that you have all the information recorded, because that's going to be important. So if you haven't started using a password manager yet, and please do so. It's the sooner you start, the easier it's going to make things, because there's one of the services I use sent out an advisory a couple of days ago that there was a problem in the passwords and they needed everybody to reset it. So at least then I knew what my password should be, and then could make a change and then update my information. So this is just one of the other things that you can do with your smart home. And you'll see from that there's other videos here that I'll be linking to that gives you more information. But again, please enjoy this. Have a good time with doing it. Thank you very much for watching the channel and for subscribing. If you haven't, please consider doing so. And if you can like the video, I'd appreciate that as well. Thank you very much for your time, and we'll see you again soon.